So I'd like to talk about the Casio OCW-S1000 as someone with a small wrist. Some might say as small as the bottom of one of those little red Dixie cups, you know, the ones that you play games with. Anyway, I own this watch for a while and I want to share 4 pros and 2 cons and just some general comments on this wonderful, amazing Oceanus watch. Just for reference, I have a 6¼ inch wrist or 16 centimeters and a wrist width of about 2 inches. But first, let's talk about the boring stuff, the dimensions. So from the 12 to the 6, I got it at 38 millimeters. From the 9 to 3, including the little bumpers here off to the side, I got 42. From lug to lug, I got 45 millimeters. The glass on this, domed, I got at 31 millimeters. And in terms of where the lugs start, I got it at 21. But why did I buy this? A better Oceanus starter. Now, I've been trying to get into Oceanus for a while, and I actually made my first Oceanus purchase, which was the OCW-10, which is a 36 millimeter, I guess you could say women's watch, but it's a nice watch. And I got it for under $100, and I thought, yes, I finally own an Oceanus. But then online, I came across this watch, and I thought, what is this? And so I looked at it and I'm like, oh, this looks more like one of those modern Oceanus watches. Not exactly the same, but it's starting to look more like, like the Manta style type of watch. And for about $150, I thought, okay, I'll take a chance on this, get it sent from Japan, used. It's an older model, but I thought, okay, we'll see how it goes. And when I got this watch, boy, it was incredible, in pristine condition. And it came in the wonderful clamshell box. Oh my goodness, look at that presentation. But let's start with some of the pros of this watch. Pro number 1 is the design. This watch in person looks way better than the pictures, and it is absolutely true that Oceanus watches look better in person than online. I think it's safe to say that, right? It's really shiny, it's very nice, it's very clean, and I think the colors are absolutely great. I like the indices and the watch hands on this one. They're not like your typical sword. They're kind of like a stretched out diamond, I'm sure. It's like an oval and a diamond. Like it's a long stretched out diamond or a diamond shaped oval. But I love that design on the watch hands. The date window on this has a little highlight around it and it's deep. Number is very easy to read. Just a beautifully designed watch. Oh, absolutely love it. And while I'm not a really big fan of the outside numbers right here on the bezel, I really like the fact that they have the cities on the inside. Pro number 2, it's the weight. Now, because the watch is titanium, it is extremely light. Everything about this watch just is light. I know some people don't like titanium because they think it feels too light and it feels cheap. I love titanium. I have a couple of titanium watches. Oh my goodness, the difference. I prefer titanium. Sure, it may scratch, but to me, it just makes it so easy to wear and you hardly feel like the watch is on your wrist. Now, pro number 3 is the size. Now at sub 40 millimeters, this is a great size for someone with a small wrist. And while I might be able to pull off a 41 millimeter Oceanus, I really don't want to take that chance unless I'm going to buy it in person. So because I bought this online, I had to go with something 40 or under that I knew was 40 or under, just because of the risk. I don't want to have to return it. And also because the watch is so thin, it sits so nicely on my wrist, making the size even better. And pro number 4, it's the features. Now, as with the other Oceanus watches, all great features, solar charging, multi-band 6. The chronograph dials are there. I don't really use it. If that's your thing, there you go. And while those features are wonderful, I'm really getting this watch because of the Oceanus brand and the look. Look at that. Let's talk about those cons. So con number 1 is the busy dial. Now, I can't really blame this watch for that. I mean, you get an Oceanus, a lot of them, you know that you're gonna get a busy watch just because of the chronograph dials on the watch face. I'm personally not a fan of it, but a lot of this watch is covered with stuff. Again, I appreciate the fact that the cities are around on the inside of the bezel, like down on the pie crust area, but on the outside it has the numbers, and then it just has so many little lines and yeah, I wish they didn't have all of that. I wish they had a cleaner version of this watch. I know that Oceanus makes cleaner versions, like the 3-hand models, but this one is pretty busy. It's very shiny, but I just think, yeah, there's a lot going on here. And con number 2, scratch magnet. Now again, this is sort of the give and take when it comes to a titanium watch. I've already noticed that there's scratches here on the clasp. I don't think those came from like before. I think these are actually from me getting it. Overall, because it was used, the condition was great, but just be aware, like, because of the fact that it's titanium, it is going to be questionable when it comes to whether or not you're gonna see scratches over the long term. So just in closing, I think this was a great buy at $150-ish. This is a close to modern looking Casio as I can get without going full board into, like, you know, the several $100 amounts. This was to me a safe purchase just to see if I liked, you know, other Ocean. I mean, I already know I like the Oceanus look, but, you know, just to build up that collection and not just buy like the one Oceanus. This sort of builds some of the entry levels along with the OCW-10. I feel like this is a nice Oceanus start until I get to Japan, and then I can try these on for myself in person. And of course, because it's an Oceanus from Japan, the instructions all Japanese, but overall this wasn't as difficult to set up as the OCW-10. So I wouldn't dissuade people from getting this watch. There's also better instructions in English. I think because it's a newer-ish, it's still old, but it's a newer-ish watch than the previous one. Much easier to set up. This has become my work watch. I think it looks nice and sleek and professional. Some of the other Casios, it's more for fun, but this one I think it's worthy of an office watch. So thanks for watching.